seizing is one that's you middle your twine, bring the ends together, and you just pass one part through and pull it up so that the middle is around the line. Now notice when you pass your turns around like this, you middle it, and to start the seizing, since I'm working up, I want to make sure that these turns don't go like that, because that'll produce a gap right there. I want to make sure I start it so that it goes the other way, so that the one strand coming out the middle here is on bottom, since I'm working my way up. And in this case, I'm using two parts rather than one. So that means it's going to work its way up twice as fast as the last example, thus making it a much quicker seizing to tie. Notice this is taking on a twist like I was talking about. You don't want to seize something twisted into that position if you want it to be square. So what you can do is come up with a way out in the rig to straighten it out. In this case, I can use this broomstick to hold it straight. This one's doubled up, so if you think of it in terms of pounds per square inch, so I got to really focus on holding that tension on the seizing while I'm passing the twine around. And I also didn't make my skein, but this line, I'm starting my figure 8 turns now, and you want to, I should have held some of this out. You want to take a look at which turn of these two is the one that's on bottom, and pull it down first, down into place, and then pull the next one so that they're not twisted up in the middle. And keep those figure 8 turns shoved down against the others so that you don't get a bunch of bulkiness in the middle of the seizing. Throughout the seizing, since I got two parts here, I find it easiest to pass one part for the figure 8 first, the one which is on bottom, snap it down into the seizing and pull it tight, and then pass the other one, the one which is on top, and snap it down into place and pull it tight so that these stay nice and low. Notice I'm using the tip of my spike every now and again to push down. Of course, be careful you don't slip and poke it into your hand. So that was my figure 8. I'm going to spike it down. So now it looks like I'm at that point where if I finish it with 2 round turns at the top, it'll be the right width for finishing the seizing. In that last turn here, I'm going to finish with a hitch, just like we did on the last seizing. But again, this one's doubled up thickness. And I want to have the hitch come out right between the 2 strands, just like last. Now when they're doubled up, I find that the turns wrap the neatest if I kind of fold it up this direction when beginning my my covering wraps, like that, and then kind of squeeze that up, making sure that this first wrap is being wrapped. I think it was too tight for me to spin it around, but is being wrapped so it's not riding up over top of the seizing. It's just below the last turn. And And every now and again I'll kind of lever it against the edge of the last turn and work the tension up a little bit. I get down to a point where there's not enough of the first layer of turns left for me to pass both parts around without rolling off the edge of the first turns. So when I get to that part, I take the one that's on bottom and I let it drop out. I'm going to take that one that's on bottom and I'm going to pass it between these two parts from the back side out this way. The one that's on top is going to continue around to the other side. That's going to shove in the other direction so that the strands are coming out opposite sides of the seizing. So I'll show you what I mean. And again, that technique of shoving your spike through, carefully not to damage the line, hooking a loop on the spike on the back side and levering it up and through, pops that turn out to help get it through there. Stick a loop on it, and you want to try not to lose your tension on your covering turns, but you can get it back if you lose it. And now I'm going to lever that through the other way and pull it out the other way. So I'm going to make sure that all those wraps are laying nicely the way I want them to. And we're going to pass once like that and just put an overhand knot in it like you're tying your shoes, and make sure that overhand knot comes down in the middle between the bits of rope here so that it's not visible. Because on the underside we're going to do a reef knot in there, a square knot. Again, I'll pass my spike through, get a reef knot to be able to do this because you can't really see what's going on too well inside there. But what I'm going to do next is pull the tails through the other direction. So I've got to pass it the other way around to put my overhand knot. You know, it's right over left, left over right. And it can untie your knot. So to give it some added security, and it's not the best security, you can put a little button knot on either side. And then you cinch that up nice and snug. And then you trim it off. Go ahead, Jack. And that's the quicker